Hello everyone, today we're here with Christina from Watches in Rome. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
We're going to explore her beautiful collection that they have here in store in Rome. So first of all, if you would like to introduce yourself, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, my name is Christina, as was mentioned before. We are together with Watches in Rome already a couple of years. I'm managing a jewelry department, but also taking care about watch pieces, of course, too. The Simone family has an incredible collection of Cartier, which were curated for a lot of years because business is already over 40 years on the market. And during this time, Maurizio, first generation, and also Julian and Marlon had a chance to collect an incredible pieces in their collection, as well personal and for our customers available for sale.
Of course, we have an amazing collection here. So
Thank you.
I would say let's start from the very beginning and start from the old pieces. We have some oldies, so let's definitely explore them and work our way up. Let's start from the very beginning, from the oldest one, and let's explore this beautiful platinum tonneau that we have here.
Yeah, this is an incredible example of Cartier, and we actually very proud having it in our collection because Cartier, first actually wristwatches were for women, and men were wearing pocket watches.
And this is a beautiful example of that, with the integrated bracelet, and it's
exactly, and this is one of the first wristwatches ever made. Cartier was first on the market to make a gentleman timepiece to put it on the wrist, and this is one of the first. So this is from 1918, and as you see, the work of platinum is just incredible because also Cartier, it's a jewelry brand first of all. So this is more piece of jewelry than a timepiece. The bracelet is incredibly flexible. Like today, it's even impossible to do something like that.
Yeah, and platinum as well. I mean, it's a rare shape, a rare, configuration, I would say. And then the mesh platinum bracelet is just
the bracelet seems like fabric.
Yeah.
And what I like,
delicate.
and what I like the most about this watch, but the size.
Yeah.
Because the size might be actual for men also today, because men, they switch to bigger watches, and even Cartier, we can see as tank, is bigger now than was before. But V is one of the first wristwatch. It still has a very actual size also for today.
Yeah, and I think the shape, the tonneau shape, is just an interesting one. It perfectly hugs the wrist. It just sits there perfectly. It's slightly curved, and it's just a perfect size for everyone. I mean, men and women, as you were saying, I think it's just beautiful.
Yeah. Yes, let's say that Cartier in general in watches, they are very unisex brand, they don't have any hint of gender about it, so this is also a very nice thing. You know that, for example, Elizabeth Taylor, she was a proud owner of Cartier tank, and she was giving thanks to every husband she had.
Yeah, I mean, well,
So
it's a nice present.
Yeah, moving forward, we are going to 20s, and this
Beautiful
is
cintre.
an incredible cintre in yellow gold with a sapphire crown.
Classic shape.
Yeah, this is just incredible. Probably, I'm quite sure this cintre from that year is in perfect condition, which exists.
It looks like it was bought and just put in the
It's
in
in
the safe.
it's
and
in mint
never
condition.
worn.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. And what I like about it, because the strap fits the woman perfectly.
This is also another incredible shape that just fits every kind of wrist. It's amazing. I think it's such an actual shape. I mean, it never goes out of style. And with the brigade hands, I mean, it's just that little touch of elegance that Cartier seems to add everywhere. It's amazing. I mean, always in time and always actual.
Yeah, and through time, this design was repeated, and also today, for example, and here we have a beautiful watch from 2023, which is a unique piece and was made by Cartier especially for us. We designed numerals, salmon dial, the watch is in platinum, and I think it's also a stunning piece. The watch is not for sale. The watch belongs to our family, but I mean, you see the design.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I love how you can put them right next to each other and you could never tell which year they're from. I mean, this could be from the same year this was made and vice versa. It's just insane.
Yeah.
I love how versatile this shape has, been over time and never went out of style.
Yeah, because it's quite simple and clear.
Yeah.
The proportions are good because Cartier is jeweler,
Yeah,
so
they're really good at making their themes
exactly
timeless, for sure. Okay.
Then we are moving to a watch from 37. This is actually a very curious thing because it's again unique piece, and can you imagine in 37 and collaboration literally between Patek Philippe and Cartier, because movement side is Patek Philippe and the shape, as you for sure know, is of Patek.
Yeah.
But Patek used to do it in white gold and customer desired to do it in platinum. So the movement inside is Patek, but Cartier made the case and the dial, and this is collaboration of two major brands in 37.
Yeah.
Which is today to do is quite impossible.
Because Patek wasn't treating platinum at that time, so of course they had to manage to create this piece, and it's just an amazing one. I love this shape. This is another one that is just, the perfect example of how Cartier could just mix well with a big watchmaker label like Patek and just make the perfect piece.
Yeah.
This is also an interesting shape. You don't see this very often.
It's very uncommon, right?
The W.
Yeah, and it's also, it looks even more modern.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, it's obviously less old than these, but you can definitely still say that it has a vintage touch. I mean, it's nothing very common to see nowadays, but it's still so modern and actual.
And I also like the color of the dial, if you will see closer.
It's really beautiful. I mean, everything that Patek or Cartier makes is just, when amazing, and when they put them together, their abilities is just unique.
And there is even an inscription in the back.
Beautiful.
This is Tank Chinoise from 40s in yellow gold. This we got actually recently.
This is the
from the
first piece
auction.
we're looking at with the yellow gold bracelet.
Correct.
From the
Yeah.
collection.
Yeah, and this is also having quite a spectacular dial.
Yeah, this is definitely an oldie. It looks older than other two, the other two that we looked here, just because the patina on it has become very beautiful and very elegant, but I just love the integrated bracelet on this. I think it just makes it, as you were saying, a piece of jewelry before a timepiece, and I think that's the magic of Cartier when making watches like these. Incredible.
Well, moving forward,
We have a beautiful Helm collection.
yes, we have 3 of them
The
in
trilogy.
different size. This is a unique piece with Roman numerals, and this is medium size in white gold. This watch also is published on Cartier White Book, and I think I love actually. From Timone, probably this is my favorite because I like the size, it's very proportional, I like the numerals, and even if it's plain, like there is not much fantasy, let's say, around the dial, it's very refined and elegant piece.
I was gonna say this is probably the best in terms of size and configuration. It just holds, everything that a Helm should have, and it's just impeccable. And this is another example of a collaboration between Cartier and another watchmaker, which is Lecoultre. And
Exactly.
I think it's just an insane example of how the case was made and the mechanism inside, and it's just a statement piece that you would recognize everywhere. So
Yeah.
I love that we have 3 different examples of this
Yes, because
design.
also, you know, this one is in yellow gold, and it has also baguette cut sapphires around. It's also very fun. And this is already more, you know, dress watch.
Yeah.
The watch you can
This definitely
wear
has
with
something more. I mean,
tuxedo.
it's yellow
Exactly.
gold, the sapphire, but this one, as you were saying, I think it's just the
And
perfect
this one is the biggest one, which exists. Also, this one is already from the 50s, and these 2 examples are from the 40s.
This one also has the
Integrated bracelet.
Beautiful. These are just, I mean, a nice collection to have all together for every
Exactly,
kind of occasion.
free brothers.
And as you were saying, you know, different sizes, but the design is still beautiful in all of them. I mean, sometimes I feel like the design holds better in one specific shade, but when it comes to the helm, I feel like it's just beautiful in every kind of measure.
Exactly. And I like very much their game with stones around.
I think the detail on those is just insane. I think you can really play around when it comes to the design with this kind of watch, and they did an amazing job on doing that.
Yeah, because it never looks too much, you know.
It
And
still
this is
holds
also
its
very
elegance.
important.
Right.
Another piece which we are very proud of having in our collection, this is Cartier Jumping Date in rose gold. It's coming from the auction from '96, Magical Art of Cartier, and look at it.
I mean, this is just a little piece of history around. This is also another example of a collaboration between Cartier and Le Coultre. I mean, this is, if it didn't have the Cartier sign, it would be Le Coultre. So it's just beautiful. I love everything about the dial. It's so particular. But as you said about the other 2 as well, I feel like it's never too much on a Cartier. It could have many different details, many, you know, many touches, but it's just perfectly elegant and simple. Beautiful.
Then we are moving to 90s, and here we have
And we're moving to New York.
exactly, and we are moving to New York. So we have here 14 karat gold for America. This is Tank American.
With a black dial. That
Exactly,
you don't
and
get to
it's
see very often on a
dual
Cartier.
time, so we can settle Roman time and New York
And New
time.
York time. Yeah. Best of both worlds, I would say.
And it has also quite particular crowns, which I like
Yeah.
about this watch.
Yeah, usually the cabochon is always going forward and out, but I love that these just stay a bit more inwards and are sharper than the other ones. Well, the black dial is just something very special to see in a Cartier. You don't get to see it very often. And the fact that it's a dual time makes it even better.
Yeah, and more desirable.
Yeah.
And of course the bracelet, integrated bracelet, which is just perfect for this watch and gives, you know, like some major mood to the watch.
Definitely. I think Cartier is probably one of the best houses to make watches that have integrated bracelet. It's just their job, you know? It just seems more natural for them to do it than other watch brands. So this is definitely a unique.
Also because the shape of Cartier is very linear,
Yeah.
you know, it's very geometric, so it looks very complete together, let's say.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this is another beautiful example of the collection that
Which is your favorite from this box?
Ooh, hard to say. It's like a box of chocolates. So I love the tonneau. I think it's such an underrated shape for any kind of watch. And definitely Cartier, you know, has the best ones. But I think this is one of my favorite. And then the chinoise. I love the chinoise. In every sort of shape, configuration, anything, I love it. I think it's another timeless piece. And
Great choice, yeah.
yeah, I think the ones with the integrated bracelets are just a clear example.
They are very special.
Yeah, they're very special, but they're also, you know, just they work better for Cartier, I would say, because it just makes the whole watch an idea of like complete jewelry, you know. So I think those 2 are my favorites so far. I mean, without taking anything away from the helms.
Sure.
But
Sure.
okay, so you asked me which watch was my favorite one out of these. So I want to ask you the same. I want to know, what do you think about them?
Well, it's again hard to say, hard to choose only one watch, but
I'll give you two.
but probably this tungsten thread in yellow gold, because I like that it's very iconic of Cartier, you know, like Cartier itself. So probably this is the watch which really represents the house. So probably I will go for this watch.
Yeah, very recognizable. I mean, you wear that and you already know from
Exactly.
that you're wearing a Cartier.
And if you give me the chance to choose the second one, I will go for this one.
Okay, that we haven't explored yet. So
Exactly,
let's start
it's
from here.
Cartier London.
Okay.
And it's double strap. You know, the production of Cartier London was extremely limited because they used to be active just around like 8 years in London. So all the pieces which were making was issued in extremely limited numbers. And what I like about this watch, because it's particular, once you wear it, you have 12 which is here, and I find it just perfect for pilots.
Yeah, I was gonna
because
say.
you don't have to turn your hand, you know, so you just, you know, can check the time
Without
and
having to,
without being disturbed. And I like this idea about this watch. I don't know if it was created for this reason, but it's something which I would like to believe in.
I love the whole design about this. I love the fact that it's very slim and vertical, and I love the double strap. I think that's a very like sexy thing to put
It's
on a
very
watch.
stylish. It's very attractive watch.
Definitely.
Also, the crown is very unusual.
I was just gonna talk about the crown because
It's quite big.
it is pretty big and pretty wide for the design of the watch.
Exactly.
And being this slim, you would think that it would have like a very like just thin and tinier crown, but instead they decided to go big.
Exactly,
And I think it's very
absolutely.
nice.
And in yellow gold, these are 60s. I find this watch very chic.
Beautiful. I think
Very
it's
beautiful.
even nice to look at it from, you know, different angles. And again, we go back to jewelry. I mean, without the handset, it would just be a perfect piece of jewelry.
Absolutely. Focusing more and coming back to the bracelets, we can also see that they are quite different. You know, the links are different, and Cartier had a lot of creativity about it.
I mean, we start from the very oldest one, which has a complete different design from the newer ones. I mean, this is in platinum, which we already said, you know, was quite rare.
Yeah.
But the mesh thin bracelet was just...
Because at that period, also this kind of bracelet of jewelry in general, you know, like second skin, was very trendy as well.
Yeah, it was very popular.
Also in jewelry, you know, so also we can see works of Buccellati, you know, which used to be active in the same period, and the work is very similar, you know. So it also, you know, Cartier were focusing also on demand of the people, which people like, you know, and for example, but also as a big house, they are teaching also their customers and showing them the different directions. For example, first tank, which was made in 1917, then was recreated in 40s. Now, you know, also the most desirable watch of 2024 is Tank Normale, you know, which reminds a little bit, you know, the design of this one. And they are coming always back.
Yeah, I think it's nice to see the evolution of, you know, bracelets. I mean, this is obviously integrated, the other ones you can change, but I think it's interesting to see how the design of the links changed throughout the years, and as you said, how people wanted it to be, and how Cartier listened to them and to the demand, which is always really important. So yeah, that's another interesting point.
Yeah, also the popularity of the Cartier, it's quite a logical thing to me now, because Cartier was popular after First World War. Then we have, you know, the design, actually the tank was called and designed by a war machine, you know. So, and today I cannot say that we are living in very peaceful time, so we can even like natural understand this coming back to Cartier.
It's interesting for that Cartier obviously listened to the demand and to what people were wearing and what they were liking at the time. So I think that's something that obviously reflects over time, and also in terms of how things come back. You know, I feel like trends are always kind of cyclical. They come back and we were like, oh yeah, I used to like that or wear that years ago, and it keeps coming back. So that's an interesting trait of how things are made. But
yeah, and it's nice because in timepieces and also jewelry, you can clearly see the economical and political situation, you know, in the world. Because, you know, we have more freedom and more fantasy, for example, in the 50s, you know, and we have gems all around. In the time which were a little bit tough, you know, the design is more clean and more minimalistic. So this is also a nice thing, that wearing a watch, you know, you also represent a time when this watch was created.
Yeah, I mean, not only when it comes to the shape and the design, but the choice of the metal. I mean, even what's interesting about this, when it comes to the others, is just that this, for example, was produced for an American market, so 14 carats instead of, you know, a higher carat size.
Exactly.
So I think that's an interesting point when it comes to production, not only Cartier, but in general, any kind of production that is made. So yeah, I think it's an interesting point to look at when we're exploring a collection like this, starting from the very beginning, 1918, ending in 2023, so only a couple years ago. I mean, we explored many years.
Yes, actually we have here watches produced in more than a century, and this is blow-minding.
Yeah,
mind-blowing.
Well, thank you so much for
having
us.
Thank you. It was our pleasure.
It was my pleasure for sure. I love that we were here talking to another woman for the first time. So
thank you. It's an honor.
This is definitely a special video for me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Julia.